This is Staying Aligned for Christian leaders who refuse to drift from God's calling in their life. If you're a Christian leader who feels isolated because your vision seems larger than what people around you can see or support, stay with me. Many leaders are not frustrated because they lack clarity. They're frustrated because they're carrying a vision ahead of the people that they lead. And if this goes unchecked, you may yourself begin to resent the very people that you were called to serve. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to stay aligned when your vision outpaces the team and people that your calling says to protect. So drift often becomes when vision turns into loneliness. So let's start with the pressure here. Here is what this often looks like. You see where things need to go, but others only see where things are. You talk about a long-term impact, but the people around you focus on the short-term comforts. You're thinking months, years, decades ahead, while those that you lead are thinking about next week and how to pay the bills. At first, you tell yourself to be patient. You explain more, you repeat yourself, you slow things down. But over time, the gap starts to wear on you. You feel misunderstood. You feel alone in the decision making. You start to wonder sometimes, are you asking too much or expecting too much from these people? This pressure rarely feels dangerous at first. It just feels heavy. You're still leading, but something inside of you feels restrained. Scripture is full of leaders who carried vision ahead of understanding. Abraham was called to leave everything before he knew where he was going. Joseph, he carried dreams long before anyone believed them. And Moses, he saw deliverance before the people trusted the process. Think about that. Vision often arrives before the agreement. But here's where many leaders begin to just drift from their calling. Left unexamined, this pressure begins to change how you show up. You stop casting vision with conviction and start shrinking it to fit the comfort of those you lead. You grow impatient when people don't move as fast as you do. You begin carrying disappointment instead of hope and inspiration. Eventually, the vision becomes a burden that sits on your shoulders instead of a calling that drives you forward. And when vision feels like a burden, leaders start questioning whether or not they should even keep leading at all. Alignment invites a different question. Did God give you this vision to rush people or to steward direction? Are you responsible for results or for faithfulness? Is it your role to pull people forward or to walk with them while holding the line? So just let those questions breathe for a second inside of you. Because aligned leaders understand that vision sets direction, but love will set the pace. And Jesus consistently carried vision beyond his disciples' understanding. He spoke of his death and his resurrection while they debated position and power. Yet he did not abandon them. He taught, he modeled, he stayed. And here's the principle that I want you to hold on to. Vision without patience creates pressure. Vision with patience builds people. Proverbs tells us that without vision, people will perish. But Scripture also shows us that this vision must be carried with wisdom. Strong leaders are not defined by how far they can see, but by how well they shepherd others towards what God has shown them. Clarity protects calling. This is something most leaders miss. And in a moment, I'm going to give you one question that instantly reveals whether your frustration is rooted in pride or stewardship. But first, understand this. Having greater vision does not make you superior. It just makes you responsible. I'm going to say that again. It makes you responsible. Responsibility requires restraint. It requires humility. Responsibility requires remembering that God grows people in stages. And here's the question. Are you frustrated because they're disobedient or because they're still developing? Think about that. Sit with it for a minute. Not everyone who moves slower is resisting God. Some are learning trust. Some are hearing from past leadership wounds and they're healing from that. Some need time to see the fruit before they believe the direction. Galatians 5 reminds us that patience is a fruit of the Spirit, not a leadership flaw. Now, here's something that you can do today. Identify one place where you've been pushing vision without checking for the understanding. Not the whole organization, just one conversation. Ask one clarifying question. Instead of making another statement, just ask the question. And then adjust your language from outcomes to directions. Speak about where you're going, but also explain why it matters and how it serves them. See, one shift in posture can reopen trust. And when you lead from alignment, something within you changes. You stop feeling like you're dragging people uphill. Your tone softens without losing authority. Your vision becomes an invitation instead of a demand. And you begin to see growth where you once saw resistance. And over time, the gap begins to close. Guard your alignment. Guard your alignment. Few things matter more. You are not called to outpace people. You are called to lead them faithfully. Vision is a gift, but stewardship keeps it from becoming a weapon. As you step back into your day, I want you to remember this. Staying aligned is not a one-time decision. It's a daily one. And this is exactly why we gathered a community of Christian leaders who are committed to living with clarity, leading with conviction, and following God without compromise. If you're ready to stay the course with others who are taking their calling seriously, you can learn more over at chadnetland.com. But more importantly, I want you to focus on what you need to do today. And remember that there is beauty, there is grace, and there is greatness within you. Now go and share that with the world today. We'll talk soon.